Hi, welcome to the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Well, in this production, we're going to be talking about something that has exploded, something that has been festering for months now, and it's finally come to a head. And, well, you guessed it, Ferguson, Missouri, Michael Brown. You know, it's said that the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. Well, that's the same thing that's happened. I mean, we're just getting over the Trayvon Martin incident, and now here comes Michael Brown. And if you look back in recent history, all the way to Rodney King, it's been the same scenario played out over and over and over again on a world stage. Now, first of all, before I get further into this, I'd like to say to the many law enforcement personnel, officers, who do a stellar job every day to help protect us from criminals and criminal activity. You know, good on you. You do a fine job. And we appreciate the job you do because we know that it's not an easy job to be a law enforcement officer. However, we have seen time and time again that there is a chink in that illustrious armor, and we see it when it's displayed as it was in Ferguson. You get, and I hate to play the race card here, but it's just as plain as the nose on anybody's face. You get a white cop, a black youth. It doesn't look good for the black youth because he usually ends up in the graveyard. It's a shame. It's a shame that we can't trust the people that are supposed to be there to protect and serve. And it brings to mind something that I was thinking about when the Trayvon Martin case first broke. You look at people like Richard Ramirez, John Wayne Gacy, Charlie Manson, all of these high-profile type criminals, John Gotti and all of these people. Why don't they get killed? You know, they get the white glove treatment, and they've killed up 100 million people, just heinously chopping out their spleens and cutting out their eyeballs and, you know, all kinds of heinous stuff. Never get touched, just go to prison and get fat, pump iron, all that kind of stuff. But some innocent, well, virtually innocent. I'm not saying that Michael Brown was, a choir boy or anything. I don't really know anything about him. But that's my point. Nobody really knew about him outside of maybe some of the people in Ferguson's family. But yet he goes down, he's dead, shot 12 times, which is overkill, and an unarmed man has hands up. There's something wrong with that picture. Without even having to go to a grand jury, there's something blatantly wrong with it. And most of the time, when these black people go down, they haven't committed mass murder or anything, not to diminish or impugn any crime committed. But I mean, the just vicious way that it's gone about makes you wonder. And people like Charlie Manson, who's, I believe, trying to get a marriage license so he can marry some young thing that liked him or fell in love with him or something. But, this Michael Brown kid is dead. I think he just graduated because I see him in a cap and gown. But, I mean, his life is over. He'll never be able to have kids or marry or do anything, live his life, because he's gone. And for what reason? Because some rogue, racist cop decides to kill him. Oh yeah, well the officer had bruises on his neck. Yeah, bull crap. He could have gone back to his squad car and bumped his head on the C-pillar, or punched himself in the face or something to make it look like this Michael Brown had attacked him. I mean, there's so many angles that this could go. It's not even funny. But the point of it is, now they're calling for Mike Brown's parents to come up and sort of quell the violence. To that I say bullshit. They didn't have to come out and ask for the cop to kill their son. If I were his parents, I wouldn't go out and do a damn thing for him. They did the same thing with Trayvon Martin's parents. They did the same thing with Rodney King. Can't we all just get along? No, you can't get along when you're getting the hell beat out of you or killed. So, I mean, this is bull crap. And if they think that this is going to go on and people are just going to sit there and say, oh, that's terrible, they're crazy. They're crazy in their heads, because people are not going to sit there and take this garbage. Do I condone it? No, I don't condone it, but I certainly can't understand it. We need law enforcement to protect us from law enforcement. Is that what it's come to? Look at this bastard that killed that guy. He's sitting up there looking like Howdy Doody or somebody. Stupid looking piece of crap. Just going around blowing people. I mean, Barney Fife could do a better job than he does with one bullet. At least Mike Brown would have only gotten shot one time with Barney Fife on the job, but this bastard probably is an expert at playing games like Counter-Strike and Assassin's Creed and what's that, Call of Duty and all that, and he goes out and does it in real life. He doesn't care about law enforcement. All he cares about is blowing somebody away. That bastard that did the same thing to Trayvon Martin, he didn't care about anybody's life, at least not the black kid's life, Trayvon. He just blew him away because he didn't think he should have been in that neighborhood. And then they let him go, and not a week after they let him go, he was back in trouble again with his violent tendencies. So when is America going to wake up and actually do something about this? Well, I guess they kind of are, but in a violent, non-productive way, which, as I said before, I don't condone it, but I certainly can understand it. And then this idiot president, oh bastard, oh, well, there's really no need for violence. Well, I say to you, oh bastard, there's no need for you, so shut up, because you're probably a lot of the reason why this crap is going on. You and your buddy, Eric Holder, who went down there and did diddly squat. And that's why all this hell is breaking loose in Ferguson and in New York and in my city, Los Angeles, and all over the country. And I've heard a little earlier that it's, people are up in arms about this all over the world because it's happening with too much frequency. These little good-for-nothing bastards go in and get their little 10 badges and their little 6 guns or whatever they use and their batons, and they ride around their little Dodge Chargers or their Ford Tauruses or whatever the hell car they wish to use, and they think they're all that in a bag of cookies. And the first black, helpless-looking something they see, they blow him away for some flimsy, reason. And they think that America's going to take this? After all of the other hell that we're having to go through, this dumbass president trying to bring in all these damn foreigners, people not having enough jobs, enough food to eat, worrying whether or not they're going to stay in their homes, and then they can't send their kids out in the street for a bag of chips or a loaf of bread without some rogue racist cop blowing their damn brains out. And then well, that's terrible, they're burning, they're looting, well, there is a reason behind it. Wasn't it Sir Isaac Newton that said for every action, there is a reaction? Whether it be knee-jerk or whatever. You kill somebody, people don't like it. As I alluded to before, we're just getting over Trayvon Martin. And now here comes Michael Brown. And so what everybody's supposed to, pass out the lattes and then the crumpets. Another person got killed at the hands of cops. I don't think so. I think people are going to do what they feel they need to do until they get some kind of justice. Because there is no justice in this justice system. And I can't help but ask that pointed question. What if the roles were reversed? What if Mike Brown was the cop and that this creep that they didn't indict was the guy that got killed? A black cop killing a white boy. He would have been fired, tarred and feathered, whatever else you wish to think of. But it's the way it is. Oh, it's fine. He was just acting in the line of duty. And so now Mike Brown's parents have to go on grieving for the rest of their lives for the loss of their son. 12 times shot. I mean, these people go through rigorous training for marksmanship. They even get little badges and stripes or whatever they give them. You know, I've seen it where, you know, they're in training and a civilian pops up with a bag of groceries and, you know, they have to react. Or then there's a crook over here with a bag of groceries, blow them away. They go through lots of training. I mean, what's wrong with shooting the person in the leg? Shoot them in the foot so they can't run. They're, you know, disabled. No, this guy obviously was out for blood 12 times. I mean, good bloody Lord. And the guy's got his hands up like that. I mean, you know, this is wrong on so many levels. Just like a lot of shit in this country is wrong on so many levels. And nobody's doing anything about it. Well, if you don't do right things, if you don't do proper things, if you don't do, you know, civilly or civically, I can't speak this one. It's just pissing me off. If you can't do the civic, good, right thing, then you may turn to violence. As they say, sometimes violence begets violence. And the people that are hollering the most, just like an adage our grandmother had, if you take a brick and you throw it into a pack of wild dogs, which dog is going to holler? The one that gets hit. So they're out there hollering and barking and screaming now about what's going on, and they're the cause of it. That grand jury knew damn well that if they let this bastard go, there was going to be hell to pay. There was hell to pay when the thing first took place. I mean, are you that damn stupid that you can't see the handwriting on the wall? Another analogy our grandmother used to come up with, they need to be shot for shitting and hung for smelling like it. Because they knew that this would erupt. Not only in Ferguson, not only in the state of Missouri, but all over the damn country, perhaps the world. Because everybody now is sick of injustice. They're sick of being downtrodden by supposedly those who are here to protect us. When does society not get that? I don't, you know, it's just, whoa, you know. And I think about, you know, the violence, well, not really violence, but just the disruption. Here last night, they infiltrated the freeway, just totally shut down the 101 freeway. And there was this one girl who had just come back for Thanksgiving holiday from, I think it was Florida or somewhere she came back from. But she was on the freeway, so she called up Channel 4 News and was giving play-by-play, you know, information. It could have erupted into real violence. Suppose they had started tearing up the cars and shooting people and all this kind of stuff. People that are in power need to understand that on whatever level, the cops or the law enforcement that have done these kinds of things need to understand that by their actions, they could be unleashing a fury on innocent people that have nothing to do with the incident at hand. I mean, I'm here in California, and there's fallout. You can imagine what's going on back there in Ferguson. And they had that, you know, you shot the guy 12 times. He's got his damn hands up. What the hell did you have to shoot him 12 times for? So on that score alone, we'll throw your ass in jail. I mean, what are they thinking? Are they thinking to crack? You know, hello. So it's going to keep on happening. I hear sirens out there going now. You know, have they started up again? And all of this crap just before Thanksgiving. You know, they could have at least waited till after Thanksgiving to do this. Now people's lives there in Ferguson, in Clayton County, are going to be horribly disrupted because this is not going away soon. I mean, these people are mad. I mean, if Jesus came back down to say, please don't do any violence, you know, they're mad. They're understandably angered by seeing this same thing play out time and time again. So, I mean, they obviously had no consideration for Thanksgiving. Say, well, we're just going to table this until after the holidays, because if we do come down with a decision where we're not going to put this guy away, then there's going to be hell to pay, and it's going to just screw up everybody's holiday. They don't care. Bunch of self-serving bastards. And people are sick of it. They're not going to lay down and take it anymore. And if they feel they need to do it by violent means, that's what they're going to do. I mean, what do you call it when you kill people? I think the term is murder. And is it any less devastating at the hands of a crook or a cop? I think it would be more devastating at the hands of a cop, because that bastard is supposed to be there to take care of you. And I honestly, in my heart, don't feel that Trayvon Martin or Mike Brown or anybody that's taken down by a cop should be just killed like that. Okay, in some cases, maybe there is a situation where you can't help it, but to shoot somebody 12 times? With today's guns and today's armament, I mean, you could drop a bull moose at 20 paces with these Desert Eagles. You know, when you shoot somebody in the leg, disable them. They can't move. They're considerably, disabled from hurting you. I mean, the guy obviously didn't have any weapons with his damn hands up. What, he have a 12 gauge in his toes? I mean, come on. No jerks. And they expect us to be jerks by, oh yeah. And then the Today Show had on a poll. I mean, come on. Do you think that the Ferguson Supreme Court, or the grand jury, or whatever the hell it was, made the right decision in letting this guy go? And it was supposedly 85% to 15. 85% yes, 15 no, they didn't do the right thing. I think they flipped it. Because if everybody supposedly think they did the right thing, why is there so much hell going on in multiple cities? Come on. What kind of bullshit do you think people are, we didn't fall down with yesterday's rain. We know what the hell's going on. This crap has been going on for decades. Decades. And my brother said, shaking his head, it's ridiculous. And you see it played out time and time again. Same damn result. So no wonder people are angry. Yeah, go ahead.
Like the homeless guy that was out in the street instead of did that.
Oh yeah, Kelly Thomas. Okay, he was a white guy. And he was mistreated and beaten beyond recognition. And subsequently, I can't even talk this morning, subsequently killed for what? He was on the ground calling for his father. Certainly not a threat to cops. A lot of the people in I forget the city. Anyway, they knew him. Their kids would go up and give him donuts and candy, and he was a homeless guy, but he wasn't horribly violent. People liked him, and they went up and killed him. So I think these police officers, they need to find a way to weed out the bad ones, and really crack down on these police agencies, because they're out of control and they're in a neighborhood near you. And watch yourself so you don't get killed, because you don't know where they are.
Watch your dogs too.
Watch your dogs. We had an incident where an innocent bystander was filming some cops mistreating a perpetrator, and they told him to give him the effing camera. And he said no. And then they took him and wrapped his arms around his back and slammed him on the hood of the car. And he had a Rottweiler, sort of looked like Chop Chop on Grand Theft Auto 5, if any of you play that game. And so naturally the dog reacted. You're bothering his human. And they shot the dog and killed him. It's ridiculous. And the best stupid old bastard can do is get on there. Oh, we don't really need any violence in Ferguson, Missouri. We don't need you, you bastard. if you were a decent and honest-hearted president who cared about the people, then you would get together some ad hoc committee to go in there, get the FBI or the CIA to get in there and clean up these police departments to rid them and us of this crap. But the best you can do is sit there and look stupid, you idiot. Anyway, that's my take on this Ferguson mess. And wherever you are in the country, especially you folks there in Ferguson, I hope you're going to be okay and safe. And I can really understand your feelings of anger and frustration. You know, I would hope that there would be a better way to channel it, but sometimes the pot just boils over and you got a big mess all over the stove. You don't want to go and clean up the mess, but hey, unless you monitor your pot, it's going to be a blowover. And as I've said so many times in productions, I fail to see America anymore. What I see is a mess. A big mess, and it's at the hands of politicians and creeps that are in these various agencies. You know, it's a mess. To those of you who are doing the good thing, doing the right thing, good on you. Keep up the good work, but I'm afraid you guys are far outnumbered by the idiots and creeps. Once again, try to stay safe and try to be happy during this holiday season. Hopefully, we can kind of cool this thing down before the holidays. I'll see you next time on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Bye-bye.